tell you a bit more about the Nigerian Maritime University in Delta State. It's among the other newly established higher institutions of learning, constituting one of the milestones of the past administration led by Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. However, the university has set out to begin full academic activities from September this year.
Yes, Melinda. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Ongwebi Otebu, says the institution has the potential to be one of the best in the world. He spoke at a reception organized by the Baramatu people for the Governing Council of the university, and he believes that when the institution commences full academic session in September this year, it will indeed make a huge impact, not only in the Baramatu Kingdom, but of course Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
That's right, because there's a need to empower people. Knowledge is power, they say, and the Vice President made that clear, that the future is not later, the future is now. And when you have the future being empowered, educated, like what we have at the Nigerian Maritime University, of course we'll have bright brains, and the huge restiveness in the region may probably be reduced because there's a lot of pipeline vandalism. It went up since last year, a lot of attacks on oil installations, and that has had a negative effect on the country's economy. Right now, the country is in a recession, and she hopes to get out soon. All hands have been on deck, and the Vice President has been appealing to the youth. Thank goodness he got the support of the President of the Ijaw Youth Council. He said they're ready to work with the federal government because working together is very important, and that's why Professor Osinbajo stressed that the need for all hands to be on deck to develop the Niger Delta region, because development in this region is key.
Talking about all hands being on deck, he mentioned that all parties and stakeholders in that region must sit and develop a plan for the rapid development of the region, because I mean, according to him, the federal government alone cannot solve the problems of that region. So, of course, with the establishment of this university, I mean, those who are trained in the school, not necessarily indigenes, from the Niger Delta region, but everybody can contribute their own quota to the development of this region. Because I mean, it's from what we've seen, it's an area full of
huge potential.
Huge potentials.
Huge potentials, yeah. We see the spokesperson of the palace was reading all the wonderful things. Very long list of things they have in Baramatu Kingdom, and as well as in Delta State. The governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, is also looking beyond party lines, because this is about the development of the region, and it's key because whatever happens in the region affects everyone, not just the region but the country at large, because if it destroy oil installations, it also reduces oil production output, and it also affects the economy as well, because oil is one of our major products. Nigeria is one of the top guns when it comes to oil exporting in the world, but also the need to develop the tourism potentials as well, which exist across the country. There are a lot of sites which have been abandoned, and they also need to restore those sites, look at those areas and try and pay closer attention to them. That's looking beyond oil as well.
And from what we can see on our screen now, they also have a huge, vast interest in culture. You can see the women dancing, quite interesting dance there.
It's very, the Ijaw dance, there's a lot of waist movement involved in the Ijaw. That's my territory, basically, so believe me, I can go on and on about the dancing.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So the Ijaw dance, it's very peculiar to them. They have a unique way of moving just their waist, and you can see they have the white handkerchiefs and all that. It's been a very interesting dance step. So it's a taste of the culture of Delta State.
Interesting.
Luluwe say Mercedes, a boy, be my boy, a boy, you want Mercedes, a boy, a boy, kiss it, a boy, be my boy, a boy, be Mercedes, a boy, a no man, boy, a consequent me a man, wow. Enjoy always. É impossível. É não possível. Sim. How I see. How thanks you. Eric Omari. Barrister Eric Omari.
As we can see the women and indigenes waiting for the arrival of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, as he visits the Nigerian Maritime University. But prior to this, he was at the palace of the Emperor of Baramatu Kingdom, and there he was received by the governor and other members of the State Executive Council. Of course, there we saw the Ijaw youths also pledging their support for the federal government. And of course, as we wait for the arrival of the Vice President, let's just give you a recap of how we got to this very moment. Well, this move, the bill passed the second reading at the Senate of the establishment of the Maritime University. There was indeed a lot of ups and downs, and well, it was pointed out that Nigeria would be the first to have a maritime university in West Africa with the establishment of this bill. And the Senate President and of course all the members of the Senate threw their weight behind this bill, and that's how it's killed the second reading. And all said and done, it was time to set up those that will run the university, and Professor Ongwebe Maureen Otebu was approved as the Vice Chancellor of the newly approved Maritime University in Delta State, and the Deputy Director of Information and Public Relations, the National Universities Commission, Ibrahim Yekasai, was the one who made the announcement in a congratulatory announcement issued in May 2015. Well, prior to this appointment, Professor Ongwebe, that's the first Vice Chancellor of the Maritime University, is a professor of mechanical engineering and was with the Department of Mechanical Engineering at the University of Port Harcourt. The Maritime University also has a registrar, and that's Anhu Nathaniel Esogene. So, of course, all is set to ensure that this school, when it kicks off in September, achieves the best. And of course, just like it's been said, the university has a huge potential, and we're waiting to see all that come into the fore. In the meantime, the people are here waiting for the arrival of Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo as he visits the Maritime University in Kurute, Delta State.